Pell Grants, that's back into this thing now. How does that create jobs? How does that create stimulus?
Well, I think almost instantly you will know that the students who will be the beneficiaries of that effort will obviously stay in school. Otherwise, they would be part of that wandering group of people who are unemployed out there. In addition thereto, all of the people who do the teaching, particularly at the community college level, will now be able to hold on to their jobs and be able to teach these young people. And in some cases, skill sets will come as a result of these Pell grants. It's really important, frankly, as part of the stimulus package, that you reach people, and this is one of the ways to do that.
So, David Gergen, is that why we have heard the president kind of shifting the numbers in terms of jobs created? They now say jobs created and jobs saved. I suppose this, if you hear Mayor Brown's argument, these are jobs saved.
Exactly, Anderson. That's exactly right. And this is why economists disagree so much about the real impact of what we now have. Not one bill, but we have two bills that have now emerged, one in the House, one in the Senate. And I think there's going to be a fairly forceful clash next week. After all, the House Democrats voted unanimously for their bill. In the Senate tonight, when Harry Reid presented to the Democratic senators in caucus, at the end of his presentation, they stood up and applauded him. So you've got these two sides, and I think what you're going to see in the negotiations is a very unusual negotiation in which the White House is going to play a much more direct role right in the middle of those negotiations to try to bring this thing and reconcile it, because they need to get, as Craig Candy said, ultimately they need to get the House to vote again in favor and the Senate to vote again in favor. And with two sides, you know, with pretty big differences, the White House has got to play a very forceful role of negotiations to get this done, and time is short.
Candy, as an observer, is this a new kind of politics? Is there something new here, or is this kind of politics as usual?
This pretty much looked a lot like politics as usual, with a White House cherry-picking members from the other side to kind of bring them along so they can get the number needed. So, but it doesn't mean that down the line, some of these efforts that President Obama has made won't pay off at some point. He is not always going to have party line and straight Democratic support, and he may need to go back to people like John McCain, to people like John Boehner on the other side, and ask for help then. So there was a degree of, yes, he's willing to listen to us. Now they're angry about what's going on now because Republicans don't think they were listened to. But there has been contact, and the White House is looking down the line thinking maybe it can be useful. But this was a pretty classic down the line partisan event.
We're going to have to leave it there. Mayor Willie Brown, it's good to have you on the program for the first time. We'd love to have you back. Amy Holmes, Candy Crowley, David Gergen as well. Thanks. Have a great weekend, everyone. A reminder, you can see an extremely detailed breakdown